Joe Bauman. He is the president for the Birmingham Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Joe, great to have you with us, but I'm kind of missing your old background.
Well, in the world of COVID, we have to do everything we can to try to bring visibility to our sponsors and supporters of the chamber. So,
Absolutely, 100%. We support that as well. And with that, what is new with the chamber there where you are?
we're all waiting for February 1st to see if other restrictions are going to be loosened or lifted, in addition to the much anticipated return of indoor dining for restaurants. I do want to mention that for now until I believe February 5th, it is Restaurant Week in Birmingham. And so right now they're doing it with curbside and carry-out specials. Go visit your favorite restaurant and do that. And then hopefully starting next Monday, there'll be some limited in restaurant dining. I thought it was interesting, your previous guest who you just had on, very frustrating situation for many businesses. Not only that, but we have in our membership event spaces that have been closed since March, entertainment venues. And so it's a very tricky situation. And one of the things that we're doing to advocate on behalf of our members with our state legislators is how is the state of Michigan ultimately going to be able to reimburse these businesses that through no fault of their own followed the governor's rules, followed the state health department rules, closed down, forfeited their business. They do need to be compensated for that action because it wasn't their fault. And they did what they were asked to do and we were supposed to do. So that's kind of what we're starting to look forward already and saying, okay, once we get vaccinated and once we have herd immunity, how are we going to compensate these businesses for all of the lost income they suffered because of it?
Yeah, the future conversation on this is going to be very interesting because of what you just said in our previous guest. Eminent domain, I had never thought of that argument before, but in the meantime, before we can get there, we are where we are. And so we know that so many of these businesses, we are focusing on so much on restaurants and bars, but we do know there are other businesses as well. And what's happening there in Birmingham to help these businesses other than Restaurant Week? Which, by the way, I will say, I didn't know what to make for dinner. So you just gave me a suggestion. I'm ordering out.
There you go. We continue to promote the the Shop Local, Shop Small campaign. Many of our retailers have adopted much more efficient online stores to do the shopping in their stores. Unfortunately, Birmingham especially is usually a buzz of activity in terms of events, outdoor events, indoor events. We were supposed to have Winter Market earlier this month that obviously had to be canceled. So the challenge is how do you encourage people to continue to come downtown when aside from the actual stores, there's not a lot else going on. So it's tough. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. This has been a very difficult fall. It's going to be and continue to be a very difficult winter, but we all just have to redouble our efforts to support the businesses that have supported us over the years.
And what's so hard right now, I feel like not only are people experiencing pandemic fatigue, but also that shop local seems to have gone by the wayside as well.
It had great traction over the holidays because people obviously are focused on that. But yeah, you get into January and, the weather obviously today is not real great. It's colder, it's snowier, so it's a little tougher to try to draw people to an outdoor environment, for sure. Our restaurants have been so fortunate that we've had a mild winter so far that, their outdoor dining has been doing great. And I mean, so much flexibility and adaptation by restaurants to do that has been quite amazing. But it's the other places that, there's a whole hidden layer that people don't realize of people impacted. Dry cleaners are having a horrible time of it because nobody's going to work, so nobody's getting their clothes dry cleaned. Florists, people are buying flowers personally, but a lot of businesses, order flowers for their reception areas in their offices. That's all gone. So there are so many layers to this that it's going to take some time to really sit back and analyze the impact of this pandemic. I will say, and we do seem to be fixated on restaurants because I think everybody loves going out to eat. The Michigan Restaurant Association put out a bulletin yesterday that said 3,000 restaurants in the state of Michigan have already closed permanently. So that's a barometer for what might come in the spring.
And that really is a sad statistic for us to leave on, but it's also a great reminder for us to support our local businesses, not just the restaurants, but as you mentioned, your dry cleaners, as well as your flower shops and so many other businesses in our own neighborhoods because they shape our neighborhood.